welcome everybody to the SDL Week 1 recaps. Mental Marc decided to dip already, so I am joined with my boy Serathim over here. Serathim, how are you doing?
I'm tired. Very tired.
You'll be alright. You'll be alright. You're never too tired for Pokemon, am I right?
Nah, you got a point there.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through simply this. We're gonna go for this kind of format moving forward. You'll kind of see how this goes. If you guys have any recommendations of anything we should be included, maybe some award names and stuff like that, always hit us up. But we're gonna go through, basically look at where we sit week 1, go over some, give some awards, some special DAWG Awards to some mons that stood out here in week 1. So I guess the only question is, Serathim, are you ready to get into it?
That's what I'm gonna get.
Lit. Alrighty, so starting off, we're just gonna go over some team standings right over here. Serathim, does anything stand out to you?
Honestly, I was expecting a lot greater to come from the Trick Room service. I was not expecting, like, Runic was such a scary mon for Trick Room teams, which we'll see later on how that went out for him. So I was surprised to see that match did not go in Trick Room's favor.
That is very, very, very valid. I cannot disagree with anything you said. That was definitely a good match, which that will be one of the matches we watch here shortly. So if you guys stick around, you definitely will be able to see that play out. I would like to say the 2-0 sweep from Jake and the Fat Man was pretty fun. Both matches were pretty fun to watch. We'll watch one of those matches, but both matches were quite eventful, and kind of watching the way. Well, I shouldn't say the way. Watching some of the questionable decisions was interesting, to say the least, but at the same time, I don't think I've generally straight up laughed out loud during a match as much as I did with that one. And then we're not even going to talk about the Coast to Coast Terrapagos versus the Positive Like a Proton. Both those games were a little bit lopsided, to say the least. And then we had to watch it, so we're going to make you guys watch an absolute stall fest of a match, which is unfortunate, but that's how the cookie crumbles.
Watching Marc get beat up by a fish was quite comical.
Hey, no spoilers. Hey, no spoilers. Easy there. Alrighty, let's get into the kill leaders. Let me just quickly shout out my boy Haxers. My boy doing us some work. Was definitely excited to use it. And its performance week 1 was definitely a very, very, very good thing for my side, and really helped to boost my confidence in this team. Also, quick shout out to my boy Meow too, the cat dog out here representing both number 1s on the kill leaderboard. Alright, Serathim, what you got?
Yeah, seeing you draft out the Haxorus, I knew immediately that was going to be one of your biggest MVPs, just because it is such a good Pokemon. It was one of my favorite mons to use in my Insurgents playthroughs, was Delta Haxorus. It's so scary, it's got bulk, it hits like a truck. So yeah, I'm glad to see justice being brought for it, which I can't say for my partner who's using Delta Haxorus. It's them.
I mean,
it's still all right.
It still picked up 2 kills, still top 10 Delta Haxorus. I think it's also interesting you see both Delta Haxorus and Delta Aggron both making it in the top 10 of each division. Sorry, by the way, for if you can't see behind Serathim, that's Blood Moon Ursaluna and Delta Excavalier down there. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, you see most strong mons in addition to Mega Mons. I guess the only one that's really, like, oddly stands out that, something you don't really see would be, obviously, the Delta Aggron. I mean, we have 2 of them in the top 10 for both divs. But then also you just have a random Delta Bisharp over here.
Yeah, I find amusing is, despite Mega Aggron being a Sunsetter for Sun teams, neither team that uses them are actual Sun teams. So it's just, I mean, Jayjay has potential to do nasty Sun stuff, but it's not a dedicated Sun team, which is still pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's definitely the way they've been bringing it and performing with it's definitely been interesting. I mean, week 1, but it's only week 1, but yeah, it's definitely been fun to see. That's a mon that I definitely did not think would be top 10 in the leaderboard. Obviously, it's still only week 1, so things are easily gonna change, but it's just one of those things. I mean, you just go down the list. You got your Delta Haxoruses, you got your Great Tusk, Mega Stunfisk. Zarude is kind of interesting to see there, but I mean, with its stats, I mean, it's just, it performing is not very surprising, and then you just randomly have a Delta Aggron, and then, like I said, you got your Delta Bisharp down there, which I'll also give a quick shout out to. So it's been, I shouldn't say nothing super quite shocking, but I will say it, just a general note, just looking at your, the top kill leaders, you definitely have the Mega Division. Seems like they had more overall sweepers versus the Delta Division, which seems like it was a lot more back and forth matches.
Yeah, definitely could agree. Mega was a lot more just ran right in a row, kill after kill after kill. What I could say though is the Mawile with Gecko team, despite being up to the kill leaders only a couple kills, but it still was, that would have a lot more pivot play through, trapping things in, getting backup hazards, more just big damage. But yeah, you can definitely see with Delta more of that back and forth action, especially with your Haxorus. It nailed a kill in a row, pivot out, come back in, more kills. It was just brutal display.
I cannot disagree with you. And yes, that Mega Delta Mawile was definitely a pain for the opponent. It just seemed like they had nothing they could do about it, even with the Sun team, with a UG Sun team going in. It seemed like he just didn't have what he needed to be able to remove it.
Especially with that Mawile goes, synthesis.
Yep, synthesis in the sun. Alrighty, let's go ahead and look at all of our DAWG Awards. So each week we'll be going through, doing each division will get their own little awards. All of them are around the dog theme, obviously, because, I'm a dog. So we got, for each one, we got the top dog, which is basically the weekly MVP for that division. We have the underdog, which is kind of like that underrated mon that you want to expect to put in some work, The fluffy dog, you got your most defensive mon, you're just could not be removed by the opponent, just that one mon that kind of stuck around the whole entire match. Your tiny dog, which is basically all bark no bite, is your strong mons that, or your mons that are supposed to come over there and do work and just decide not to show up. If it's either just getting annihilated first things first, if it's just making a mistake and it just does nothing, that's gonna be your tiny dog. And then the code dog, this was hopefully gonna be just a me and Marc thing, but considering this is week 2, we're just gonna go with co-host. So whoever's able to join is gonna join, and will basically be the code dog. Will be their favorite mon of the week if it's a set. If it's just overall just mon that they just enjoyed watching, is basically going to be that awards. Each week, this is the first week, so we're not going to go into the totals, but moving forward, we will have like a leaderboard of all of the awards, and keep updated with throughout the season of how many awards each mon gets, so on and so on. So let's start with the Mega Division. We got the top dog MVP, which is Ty's Mega Glade, Delta Glade, which was a back and forth. We'll be watching that match here shortly, but that was definitely back and forth. Gamertag Delta Miss Magius had some cool utility in that match that allowed it to really provide utility for his team. Vespiquen, we're gonna be watching that match, as that was against Tice, but that was definitely my teammate kind of made an interesting decision, and I was kind of laughing while I watched that live. It wasn't good laughs though. And then Serathim, if you want to give a shout out to your favorite mon for the Mega Division.
Yeah, so my favorite Mega Division mon has to go to Mizuri's Mega Poliwrath. It's just a really strong offensive mon, getting no guard dynamic punch. It's just, it hits super hard. Guaranteed a fusion dynamic punch. It's just brutal. And on top of it, just a little more salt in the wound, no guard hypnosis. Put you to sleep and then turn around and punch you in the face.
Yeah, that definitely. We'll be watching that match, but that definitely was a sight to see. I didn't even know it gets no guard, so just watching it just freaking slap everything, I was like, holy shit! I didn't know that. I didn't know Poliwrath had that game. All right.
Yeah, it's a great mod.
All right, then moving over to the Delta Division. I didn't pick this. This was more Serathim, but my Delta Haxorus got MVP just with the display it put on. Jayjay's Marowak came over here and punched the absolute hole through his opponent's team, which obviously with parental bond, it's gonna put in some work, but the amount it did was quite crazy. GDP's Alamamolo unfortunately was just immovable, just sitting there doing the only thing it literally does is stall and just wish pass annoying ass friggin' mon. Someone should definitely take advantage of that, haha. The tiny dog of the week was Pixel's Delta Dragonite. I don't remember. Are we watching that one? We are watching that one. We are watching that one. Yes. We will definitely see that as a sight to be had. Like we said at the beginning of the video, this was definitely one of the matches I've watched that I laughed my butt off live. It was interesting. And then Seraphim, go ahead for your Bdog.
Yeah. So I had to pick up Jayjay's Mega Marowak. It is a brutal display. We'll see it. You'll see it later on. It is. I'm excited to see it more moving forward, but yeah, that parental bond, a whopping 135 attack, it hits everything just super hard. It's brutal.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead. Go ahead and jump into our replays, and we'll go ahead and see some of these mons in action. Alright, we are going to be starting off here with my teammate Meow versus Ty the Guy. So let's go ahead. We're going to watch this through, commentate as we go. We got the MVP and the tiny dog of the week in this match, so let's see how that takes place. Usual Scarf. Yeah, I think that ended up being Scarf Gap, of course.
Scarf Gap should be a staple for that thing.
Honestly.
Delta Aurorus is such a good mon. Built-in leftovers is so
Hello!
scary.
Holy shit, I don't remember that. Just pivoting like damn crazy. Okay, Meow getting him, putting in where he needs to be. Some unnecessary damage instead of going for an electric move, but you know. Oh, huge crit. Just a little insight. Let me do a little insight. That was a heavily defensive Rocky Helmet Fezzadipity, so that definitely crit did matter. I'm not gonna sit here and say it didn't. But I will say this match right now has been nothing but Meow kind of pivoting around, putting the mons he needs going through. Has Ty definitely on the back foot right now. And it seems like Caesar just keeps coming in when it friggin' needs to be to pick up a damn kill.
Caesar is a menace.
Here comes MVP.
Ice shard damage. Now this was a...
Damn, look at that here. Okay, here is the moment that this became the tiny dog of the week right here. Alright, here we go. Oh! It lived though! And he goes for Calm Mind! No! No!
Yeah, if
no! No!
Anything else, that would have been better.
It did nothing. I cried. I saw that shit and I cried. I said, no, that thing's a menace. Just get some sort of damage on it. Oh, and it just, forget it. It just got annihilated. So again, a little bit of an insight. That was, he didn't realize that Glade got close combat, which I kind of get, but at the same time, regular Glade gets it. So, I mean, I don't know how the transition works with movesets going from Delta to regular. But, yeah, that was definitely...
I'm pretty sure most of Delta movesets are custom.
Yeah, I really wish I saw just any damage. The fact that it lived was good. He built it bulky, so that's fine. But I really, really would have, especially in a physical attacker. I mean, I don't know what Calm Mind what you're thinking going Calm Mind. That should have been just go for damage. But
yeah, just click flamethrower or something.
Yeah. So we're just gonna go through and look at that, do absolutely nothing but a huge freaking burn. Stunfisk comes out, gets a crit.
Yeah, I will say Delta Electivire is a very strong physical attacker, but that bird is brutal on it. But as you see, even then the EQ still absolutely demolished the Stunfisk, even if I was at 30 HP.
Yeah, so I mean, right here we're sitting at a straight up 2v3. So I don't remember how this ended up. U-turn to break Terra Shell. Glade comes in. Get smacked, get some damage, which I don't know the calc, but I'm pretty sure that right there. I'm not saying it's dead, but that calc right there, I mean, I don't know how much flamethrower it does, but I mean, you would think that would have immediately put Glade in range for Caesar. It either would have put it in range or flat out damn killed. I mean, I know Glade isn't the bulkiest, so I mean, a stab flamethrower, you would think would do at least 30% to possibly put it into range of Caesar. But let's go ahead and see how this ended. Got a Dragon Punch coming, Shadow Ball, Scarf.
Another thing to remember is Glade is fairly special bulk.
So see, that did 18, and that just gets one shot. So Glade comes over this. Scarf Scarf Delta Lilligant really made a difference there by being able to knock out that Dragapult. I would still be curious to see if that really, if he hit a flamethrower, if that really mattered. But
Yeah, which I did pull this up real fast to check. Mega Delta Gallade is 150 special defense, so it probably would ate it shockingly well, but
I mean, the question is, would it have done 31% in the end of the day? Well, actually, well, also it would have done more because if you remember, it did click close combat, so it was minus speed or minus defense and minus special defense. So
yeah, it probably stab super effective.
Yeah, it probably would have knocked it out, but that was unfortunate. But watching my teammate lose that, but it was a close 1-0. It was definitely a good match. If Ty didn't have that scarf, well, no, because Calm Mind still wouldn't, it didn't have the range to do it. So I mean, it was still. I don't think the scarf really played that big of a difference, but because regardless, it still would have died. But it was definitely a good close game. Let's go ahead and jump on to the next one. We got Mizuri Kip versus your teammate Abyssal. This is where we got our favorite co-host Mon. So let's go ahead and watch this out.
Music.
Oh no! Ah!
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that for every tab before.
My ears! You're gonna have to remind me there. Okay, here we go.
All right. I love the look of Delta Drifloon shiny. He's such a pretty little blue.
I'll be real with you. I have it, so I have it on my team, so I haven't really seen it. Oh, there's the no guard hypnosis.
We, when prepping for this Delta or for the Mega Polyrath, I mentioned Dynamic Punch being the bigger issue. Hypnosis was brought up a couple times, but I think we were more nervous about that giant Dynamic Punch that we kind of forgot the Hypnosis.
Wait,
ended up hurting.
I have to ask right here. Right here. This was my biggest question mark right here, right? He switches in. Why did he stay in here?
Honestly, I don't. If I'm right, we weren't knowing Mizuri and saying that he wasn't like a super tryhard. We were kind of expecting it to be weakness policy, weak armor.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing the fairy aura, we were like, and kind of space that choice scarfing this thing is very common because it makes it outspeed most Pokemon.
Because I mean, my biggest question is because you have a Delta Haxorus that resists, doesn't resist its flamethrower, but if it's scarfed, I mean, it's going for Moonblast here. You got a Delta Haxorus that's going to resist it. How well, I don't know. But then I mean, you got a freaking Volcanion sitting there that will resist both of its stabs. So I was just like, I was watching this and I was curious why there wasn't just a swap there.
I honestly don't remember why, and I think it's just kind of this space that was gonna be scarfed.
Yeah.
If it wasn't scarfed, he clicked Earth Power and it died.
So now Haxorus comes in, he goes immediately, but there goes your favorite mon. There you go.
Yeah, that psychic thing predict was big. Then this Meowscarada became a problem again.
As Meowscarada always is. Explosion! Wait a second. I just noticed that. How the hell was that faster?
If I remember right, it was a speed tie because I wasn't invested in Latias.
Oh. It must have been just a bulky, because it must have been just special bulky just for the Volcanion, because...
Yeah, I believe we had Spad Crep to outspeed Latias if it didn't invest, so it was just a kaboom. It was a final gambit. This thing served one purpose.
Yeah, I was just like...
That was to go explode.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna...
See, I seen him swap out the Drip with the Stealth Rock, so I'm like, oh, that's gonna die later. And he swapped the Limb, and I was like, wait a minute, that thing's fire flying, it's 4x with the rock, it's 50%, it's gone.
Yeah.
No. It was so sad to see. Now, that right there was one of our strats, was to see, it was a Mummy Dos Lucario. The idea was, if he brought Metagross, was that Metagross would hit it and not kill. We would endeavor putting it low, and it would steal its poison heal, so when it got the Toxic Boost, it just died. Or it was also possibly steal no-go from Poliwrath, but he didn't bring the Metagross Spider.
Yeah.
And Poliwrath is already dead at this point.
Yeah, I'm curious, did he not have anything else to hit that would have been better than Endeavor? Or was Endeavor just the most?
I think Endeavor was just the most possible damage. I'll keep track of that Mummy, because that Mummy is gonna come back later. And here you see where Mummy came back to bite us. Made him lose Strong Jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
A quad resist still doing 30 is crazy, or doing 20 is crazy. So yeah, that's strong jaw now, but yeah, it's just yikes. Yikes.
And yeah, it was expert belt Meowscarada, so it just super effective hits, stat guaranteed. It was just brutal.
Yeah. Alright, moving on. This is my match. I'm not going to comment it on too much. I'm just going to kind of play it out. I didn't get to use most of my tech here. But,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is.
One thing I love about that Delta Amoonguss in particular is its Prankster, which is always nice to see on Mons, but it has so many ways it can trigger Prankster.
It does.
It is actually just ridiculous.
Oh, and I will say, by the way, this just so happened to this freaking live. The fact that this lived was damn crazy. It was not. It was not. It was not sashed, by the way.
Yeah, it was white herbed acrobatics, so the live on 1 is brutal.
Yes, and actually the funny thing is the range that was, Weezing would have been able to get a shot on, would have been able to do a hit move on, it would have lived that Esper wing to be able to hit it, but it's alright. Yeah, so basically my big thing in this match was knowing that, Typhlosion is the biggest issue. So,
yeah.
trying to get it out there, but yeah, I mean my gameplay for this week was bring Haxorus out here, loaded dice, scale shot, be able to outspeed most damn everything, and just start slapping it.
Yeah,
by the way,
this superior.
This was one. I'm so sorry. This was one of my favorite. This was one of my favorite things right here.
Yeah. Now do I live? A 4x earthquake from a Haxorus is. I watched this one. I laughed seeing it. I'm like, no,
yeah.
Prince, you do not.
I was really laughing, and of course that was the crit, by the way, which I'm just like, seriously. Yeah, that Haxorus just doing its thing. I'm surprised here, by the way. I am surprised. I forgot how bulky freaking tank growth is. But
yeah,
now I just continue the game plan of being able to just that hole was punched through. There's nothing gonna stop Medicham. It kind of just comes in and does its thing.
Yeah. I also want to point out, if you go back like 2 turns, I think, watch the chat there, is you could see when Tangrowth heals from the raid, Prince goes, "Oh, I didn't know Dry Skin did that." You play it proxy at a second. It procs at the end of beginning of turn 16 because it.
Oh, okay.
Technicalities. And yeah, this was maybe chuckle is, "Oh, I heal with Dry Skin." I'm like, wait, is that not why you put this in the rain team? Just because it gets good heals? Delta Tangrowth can use bulk up EQ stab, which is brutal. And it just heals passively in rain plus leftover healing. It's a great mod.
Yeah.
And it's just a bulky wall.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It freaking ate that strong jaw boosted psychic things from freaking from Haxorus, which I never had any. I didn't have a calc page, so I really thought that was gonna kill, but alas.
And yeah, Delta Medicham comes in and cleans up.
Yeah. Alright, now we have our Mega Marowak going off, and then we also have pay attention to the Delta Dragonite, as that was our pick to our Tiny Dog of the Week. For the most part, it was a normal game. Both coaches had decent reads. I just feel like it ended up being just a read or two from Jayjay really helped.
Yeah, this right here was one of the bigger reads. That Eevee dying may seem significant. You might be confused. Why is there Eevee? That is Mega Eevee, which is a very difficult to deal with mod due to it constantly changing types. So getting the read of the swapping on it with a Drain Punch is just incredible.
I mean, I don't know why. I'm curious on what both these sets were, because I don't understand why he would have swapped out of Registeel.
Considering the taunt that Jayjay pulled off, I'm guessing it was probably a stall set. It was meant to set up hazard and stall.
Yeah, that taunt.
Because here you see the toxic
side then. Yeah, that was big on his side then. He must have had no attacking. Because that really did this Destiny Bond. I mean, Bisharp definitely would have done. I mean, if that wasn't Destiny Bond, Bisharp had a really good game to keep going, but it just gets freaking annihilated.
Yeah. I also love the nickname here, Not the Mama.
It'd be like that.
It's a very funny little reference. Now that Rocky Helmet chip was brutal, and then here we come with that Bunerang.
And it lives.
It live on a, now this.
Yeah, there it is. There's your, There.
Insurgents!
Well, here I come in just working. But I mean, that's literally what I came into. I came into this move. I joined. And that was the first thing I see. He has a Quagsire, and he just forgets. I just watch him swap into a Dragonite, and it just gets exploded.
I want to know what his plan was bringing Dragonite into this.
Yeah, and I will say, this is legal. I'm so sorry I cut you off. This is illegal. We're not supposed to Terra. They agreed to keep playing, so it kind of is what it is. That Fire Punch definitely would have killed the Fortress and had him live. I mean, regardless, for some reason, our homie over here was crazy and decided to go Life Orb. So, they never got that kill, but you know.
Yeah, I'm so curious. What was the plan of bringing a Delta Dragonite, an electric type, into a ground type?
Oh, so yeah, that's its set. It's a Toxic Light Screen Recover, yeah, so that taunt was absolutely huge.
Now, this was always glitch Toxic into a Steel type.
I mean, he probably was just out there dying. He was kind of like, yeah, that's that.
Yeah, I don't think that thing had a way to outstall.
Alright, and then we're going to hyper fast this and just play it out. This is just going to be freaking Albemola doing Albemola things, which is why I absolutely cannot stand this one. I verse him next week. I think I have a decent game plan going into it, so... Which I will just like to say, by the way, I will like to say this was fucking unfortunate. I mean, Marc definitely prepped well having this Lumberry, and he got a Scald Burn, had the Lumberry pop, and then very next turn got hit with Scald again and managed to get burned again.
Yeah, RNG shafted Marc with that one, because this Scizor, if it didn't get burned there, I fully believe it could have swept that entire team.
I mean, especially with it being in the... which I absolutely loved the combination of, the Chili Reception Slowking with that Scizor.
Yep. Now, that Delta Spiritomb or the Mega Spiritomb is a brutal mon. Tough Claws goes so hard with it, but it really just didn't have a chance to shine with that Alomola being, I would heal everything constantly.
Yeah, I mean, all we're seeing is that Alomola coming out every 3 turns, coming out, going in, coming out, going in, coming out, here it comes. Stunfisk finally shows itself. Slap. Wait a second. Was that fair? Wait. Was that Stunfisk faster than? Oh no, it was a swap. No, I was about to say, was that really faster? Okay, no,
yeah, and Mega Stunfisk is scary. Mega Stunfisk and the Mega Delta Mega have the same ability. It's huge power for special attack.
Yeah.
And so the Mega Stunfisk only has 85 special attack, but doubling it, that does add up very quickly.
Yeah. But I mean, you can see this is the display. You just have Spiritomb just doing its freaking thing. Of course, you get the burn, and it's just. At this point, Marc knew it's over. He's just saying, just go into something to get the kills. I'll not attack. Marc is kind of just throwing his hands up at this point. I mean,
just killed me.
Yeah, he had a cool set of Delta Greninja with a jetpack with two really strong moves that will activate that. He never got that Delta Greninja in front of the Alomola to really punch through. I mean, besides that was his. He didn't bring, besides the Delta Greninja, obviously after the Swords Dance, Scizor was doing a lot. But it's just one of those things where with Alomola, you either got to have that set where you're just going to slap it in one kill, or you got to have multiple mons that can attack it with super effective damage, otherwise it's just going to do what it did this game. I mean, literally just come in, come out, come in, come out. Every 3 turns, you see a new mon for a second, and then next thing you know, here's Alomola again.
Yeah, if this was done right, it could have been a 6-0 sweep. But the one drop is, well, at least Marc got Eiko, right?
Yeah, which I'm looking for him to come back next week. I definitely think this isn't the game plan. I just think this was something where he just, I don't know if he undervalued the Alomola, which I know he hates it. I don't know if he was just confident that he would be able to get Greninja to remove it, or I don't know what the game plan was in terms of that, but it just, he just wasn't able to remove it, which was just, I mean, if you're not able to kill a freaking Alomola, that team just wins, unfortunately.
Yeah, like, I enjoy playing some stall on occasion, but I hate Alomola still, because it's not just stall, it's pivot healing constantly, which is just super annoying.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is what it is. And that's going to be the Week 1 recaps. Thank you, everybody, for joining and watching us towards the end. Thank you, Serathim, for stepping in for Marc to go ahead and co-host this with me. Serathim, would you like to say a word before we head out?
Thanks for having me. If it was like, I got a message last night of, hey, you want to do this? Honestly, I would do it again. Even if it involves me barely sleeping, but I'd do it again. It was fun.
Oh, what a guy.
It was. honestly, it's a very interesting week one. Uh, I'm excited to see what's going forward. I hope to see Coast to Coast Drop Goats make a very strong recovery because Mark's team is a good team. It just that Ololomola was just a menace for him. I'm hoping to see week two do better and going forward.
Yeah, I definitely think we will. I definitely think we will. And who knows? Maybe co-host next week I'll have some damn random person I find. Um, so who the hell knows? Maybe Marc will be back, but we'll try to figure out. But once again, thank you guys for joining, and we'll catch you guys next week.